Thank you all for coming here. I just noticed one of the cab driver's friend who has been fighting along our sides. He's in the audience, and I would like for him to come and say a few things. No other man in this city, as far as the public is concerned, have been a good friend of cab drivers as much as Mr. Tucker has. We appreciate everything he's done for us, and I know you guys do the same. So I would like to give him a chance to say a few things. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here, and it's been an honor to get to know a few of you over the past year or two, and to be here at a meeting of the Small Business Association of DC Taxi Cab Drivers, which had come into existence just before the Medallion Bill was introduced. The Medallion Bill, which would have put half more of the drivers out of business, and that did not pass. And the reason that didn't pass is because the folks here and other drivers turned each of your cabs into a small news outlet and talked to passenger after passenger after passenger. And since each of you touch such a diverse amount of people in the course of a day, you don't know who's going to get in your cab next. It sent shockwaves throughout the city, and the earth started shaking, and the politicians started backing up. And the Medallion Bill, which I thought was pretty much a sure thing, it had some powerful sponsors, it's not even being talked about now. That is a major victory. That was not done by any fancy lobbyists. That was not done by any leaders. That was done by you, here. That victory should give some confidence and inspiration, and there are some major fights ahead. If you look at, was it Arlington, where the rates have just been increased. But they are pushing for reforms. And I don't know exactly how it's playing out in Arlington, but I'm worried about how it's going to play out here in DC. Because at the same time they're talking about rate increases, they're also talking about these reforms. And as Hymanot pointed out earlier, and Hymanot, who I just think is one of the best organizers that I've ever had the privilege of being around. And I look forward to him speaking to the media more on behalf of drivers, because I don't know anyone who's more careful with his words and a better organizer. I'm worried about these reforms. We know that, as Hymanot pointed out, that the Title 31 attempted to make a 5-year, you had to buy a car in 5 years. This would wipe drivers out. So the thing to do now is to, look, the reason the Medallion Bill was killed was because of you, because drivers got active. The thing that needs to happen now is to re-engage drivers, to start again talking to passengers. We can't just wait until some terrible bill comes out saying, I don't know if it's 5 years or 7 years and all these terrible things. We've got to keep going, keep talking. The Saturday night phone conference, I don't know how many folks here are tuning into that, but that helps to get people on the same page. And then we see this fight playing out in Prince George's, we see this fight playing out in Arlington. I foresee a day, and hopefully it's not too long away, where a meeting like this one includes drivers throughout the region. And I also foresee, speaking of Prince George's County, I got to spend some time with those drivers, and one of the things that they had set up was that they would have a lawyer who was, they had paid some money to, and that any driver who was a part of their organization could access that lawyer for a very discounted rate. that's one idea maybe for the Small Business Association to take on, because we're going to need a certain amount of grassroots legal expertise to combat these hack inspectors who are off the charts. I would also say we're going to need more grassroots work. Like, we can't just wait for a terrible bill before you start going to ANC commissioners, advisory neighborhood commissions, and asking for their support. I have the deepest respect for the leadership of the Small Business Association. But I am concerned about taking precious cab driver money that needs to be plugged back into grassroots organizing to hire fancy lobbyists. When a fancy lobbyist walks into an office, the reason that he has power is because he represents Pepco or Walmart. It's not because of the suit that he wears. The power in drivers lies in the fact that each of you has a little news outlet as a car. And to get on the same page and to use that is the way that we can head off what is going to be problematic. Look, there's pressure on Mayor Gray. I think that the best that you can hope for in a politician is that they have a conscience. And I know in some areas Mayor Gray has sold out, be it Walmart or District of Columbia Public Schools. But on a lot of areas he hasn't. And I think when it comes to cabs, I think he's probably as solid a mayor as you're going to get. But the fact of the matter is that a politician that steps out and does the right thing before the people are ready is not going to remain a politician for very long. So it is important to re-engage here, to talk to fellow drivers at the gas, and I look forward to getting back to the gas station. I missed that at 15th and U. It's the Occupy DC has been taking up a lot of my time. I just came down from there, and they're surrounded by police at the moment. And I don't know whether the whole thing will be raided or just a part of it. They built a structure, and the police were very agitated, particularly the Park Police. The Metropolitan Police Department has been much better. And I saw Justin Rodriguez, who's one of the young organizers there. And I said, Justin, do you have any message you want me to bring to the drivers? And he said, well, tell them that we might get raided today, that we need their support. And if this can happen to us, it can happen to their movement too. But once this Occupy DC thing slows down, I look forward to getting back to 15th and U and talking with you. But the only way that drivers are going to have a chance to have this profession stay in your hands, independent owner-operators, as Billy Ray taught me a couple of years ago, and how critical that is if you are politically engaged and reaching out, because the amount of money at stake here is enormous, and there are companies that would just love to come in and take this from you. And the only way that it can not only stay in independent hands, but have living wages, is going to take you getting involved, going to the taxi cab commission meetings, going to the council, learning the council members' names, being very attentive and aware. And it's not going to take the work of other people, but it is going to take the work of all of us getting involved, meeting more frequently, and as was pointed out, there needs to be question and answer. So I'll stop talking so you all can engage with the leadership. But again, I just want to say congratulations to you for one of the great victories that I've seen in recent years, which is defeating a medallion bill which would have put so much control into so few hands. And now the question is, the fare rates are coming, who's going to get that rate increase? And I hope it's you. I hope your kids have the opportunities to go to college. That's not going to be a gift. That's going to be a victory that you take from beneath, just the way you took it from beneath and defeated the medallion bill. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. P. Tucker.